What's up, people? How are you doing? And today I'm gonna review The Last Dance, directed by Jason Ayer. This documentary focuses on the era of the Chicago Bulls, spanning from the year 1992 to the year 1998. The Chicago Bulls won 6 titles and many MVP titles respectively. Michael Jordan. What can I say about Michael Jordan? What can I say? Michael Jordan was one of the greatest, if not the greatest player to have ever played the game of basketball.
Jordan is the most talented player in the NBA by far.
Michael Jordan averaged 58 to sometimes even 60 points per game. Imagine just one person making 58 points on an entire game. That is unbelievable. I don't know if LeBron James has ever done that. Without Michael Jordan, I think the Chicago Bulls wouldn't have come this far and wouldn't have even been a successful team. Alongside Michael Jordan was his right-hand man, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was the second best player to have ever played for the Chicago Bulls alongside Michael Jordan. He made every assist he did count. Even when Michael Jordan was blocked by some of the other players from the other team, he passed it to Scottie Pippen. That was the magic trick every time, and it worked. For some time, the Chicago Bulls weren't the same anymore. It felt as if their tenacity, their aggressiveness, and skills vanished, and the Bulls needed someone desperately for them to regain that ability, that aggressiveness, that energy that they needed. And that's where crazy player Dennis Rodman comes in. He was a free spirit. He was the best defensive player ever to have played for the Chicago Bulls. Steve Kerr was a player that increased the energy and the possibilities of play for the Chicago Bulls. Steve Kerr was a great player. In the beginning, he lacked a little bit of confidence. And as we know, Michael Jordan, being a great leader, helped to motivate and to energize Steve Kerr into becoming a really great asset for the Chicago Bulls. As you see, Steve Kerr is coaching the Golden State Warriors, which are a great team all in all. A team without a coach is like a story without its characters. So let's talk about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was a great coach.
We created an image that people want to live up to.
He made every play count. 98% of the time, those plays worked. Even if the plays didn't work, he said, okay, let's analyze that play. Why didn't it work? He was a critical thinker. He was aggressive. He was emotive, and he helped his players all the step of the way from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. If I were to compare Phil Jackson to any coach of today, I would say Eric Spoelstra and Steve Kerr come close to being a personification of Phil Jackson, because both of them are aggressive. Both of them motivate their players. Steve Kerr, as we know, was a player for the Chicago Bulls, so why not? I want to talk about some individual that is not my favorite, but did what was right for the Chicago Bulls. And that is Krause. Oh, Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause did what was best for the players and the team. Jerry Krause wasn't the best person to deal with negotiations, whether it was to sell players or to even buy players. But when it came to taking care of his club, of his team, he did everything he could to support the Chicago Bulls, and in the end, I think Jerry Krause, whether you like him or not, he was a great asset for the Chicago Bulls. Now let's talk about the technical aspect of the documentary, the structure, the footage, how everything is put together to create this great documentary. First of all, the footage of each and every interview that all the players did, especially Michael Jordan's interviews, were transferred to the greatest quality possible. They were phenomenal. Also, the footage from inside the stadium and even outside the stadium was near mint condition. They were really well transferred. I sometimes saw that some of the footage was too grainy and wasn't as crisp as some of the interviews, for example, or the inside court views, or the outside of the stadium, or the bus rides that the team made from state to state. And that's kind of sad. I mean, it's not a negative in any way, but I think that could have been improved a little bit more. Another great aspect of this documentary were the games.
What time is it? Game time!
My mentality was to go out and win at any cost.
Each of the games were described and edited to perfection so that the viewer could feel each and every emotion that the player felt in that year. For example, the year 1997 was a very tumultuous year for the Chicago Bulls. They were playing against the Indiana Pacers, and the team was tired as hell. If we could recreate that scene, just look at the scene of Space Jam where all the cartoons are either dead or with loads of bandages. Michael Jordan, as the man he was back in the 90s, a leader, he said, okay, even though I'm tired, I'm gonna give it my all. Screw this, I'm gonna finish this once and for all. The Chicago Bulls lost to the Indiana Pacers only by 3 points. 3 points! That is almost impossible to make in such a short period of time. To have 3 points of difference with another team is almost impossible. As you know, in every sport, anything is possible.
At some point, the team is not going to meet the expectations.
If I were to pinpoint my biggest flaw with this documentary, I would say is the going back and forth from one year to the other. For example, from 1998, we go back to 1993. In my opinion, as the viewer, I thought that I was thrown like a tennis ball back and forth from year to year, and that I found to be a great flaw in this documentary, unfortunately. From this documentary, I took out some very interesting quotes that I would like to share, and those are: in the end, The Last Dance is a great documentary that's on Netflix right now if you really want to watch it. If you're a sports fan, you'll love it. If you like basketball, you're gonna love it. If you're just a regular viewer, I think you're gonna take so much enjoyment from watching this Netflix mini documentary. The Last Dance totally deserves a 9. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of The Last Dance. Please give this video a huge thumbs up and all the good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.